All right, what's going on, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. Gonna give a quick update on Casper. Okay, I had a viewer request from the main man, the legend himself, Barbarian. Okay, really appreciate all the support I've been getting from you. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this video out for you real quick on this Saturday night. All right, so we're looking at Casper. Okay, and I do viewer requests every week. So, if you have any requests, make sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to chart that up for you as soon as I can. The more specific you are, the better I can make the video towards your needs. Okay. So, enough of that. We're going to dive into Casper now. Okay. It's all about Casper from here on, I promise. If you didn't watch my last video on Casper, you're going to need to watch it because I really break down the entire chart of Casper. Okay. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the main things. Okay. We're going to look at some upcoming price targets over the next week, over the next month. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is start off on the daily chart. Okay. You need to start off on higher time frames to see your overall trends. Okay. So there's two trend lines that we're really paying attention to right now. It's this one on the top and this one below. Okay. I'm not seeing any divergences at the moment on the daily chart, okay? But we're going to zoom down to some smaller time frames now that we know where these lines are coming from, okay? We also have our fibs on here. We're using the Fibonacci tool, okay? And we're using this to give ourselves bullish price targets and bearish price targets below. These are calculated by a math formula, okay? The Fibonacci formula exists throughout nature and the stock market and cryptocurrency. So it's really efficient to use to give you some valid price targets. Okay. So that way you don't have to draw them with the naked eye. But if you were to draw them with the naked eye, you would end up drawing levels very close to the Fibonacci's. Okay. For instance, look at this take profit level up here. Where's that right around? That's right around our resistance up here, right? This is clearly a resistance area. And what do we have? We have a level right there. Okay. We have a level right here, and we look where that was. That was a resistance level right there as well. Okay. And you can just go on and go forth and see how well respected, like look right here, look at that line, clearly a support level right there. So these are all going to be valid price targets. Okay. We're going to zoom into the chart now and actually go down to the 1 hour. Okay. And I'll show you what I'm seeing on the 1 hour. Okay. It is kind of a little bit bearish. Okay. But it doesn't have to mean the end of the world. All right. So we had two wedges here recently. Okay. Here was our first wedge on the 1 hour chart. We see a nice descending wedge. This is a bullish pattern, right? That signifies an outbreak, all right, or a breakout to the upside is coming soon. Well, we did get that breakout, okay, and we have had a very, very nice move on Casper here recently, okay? You can see we hit these lows all the way up to these highs. Now, the thing that I'm cautious of, okay, is we have created an ascending wedge, which is the opposite of the descending wedge or the falling wedge, right? We saw that this is actually a bullish pattern for a breakout to the upside, right? This is a bearish pattern with a breakout to the downside, okay? So be very, very cautious of a break of this trend line. Okay. That's what's going to actually confirm your pattern. All right. For now, this is still bullish. There's nothing not bullish about this, right? It's going up and it's moving up sharp, in a sharp fashion. Okay. Let's just put it that way. All right. But we have to know that we have this bearish pattern forming. Okay. And we have to pay attention as an investor or as a trader to, what would cause this bearish pattern to play out. Well, we have bearish divergence. Okay. And I know you have a few questions about the divergence, how come I use this level instead of this level to draw the trend line? Well, reason being is it's just a little bit cleaner that way. Okay. You can choose this particular one right here, but if you notice, even that's a bearish divergence where we come from here to here, right? And look at the price action. All right. So if you're unfamiliar with bearish divergence, it happens when at this point on the chart, okay, I want you to see we have a high there, okay? So we went from high to higher high. That's an uptrend in the cryptocurrency chart, okay? But the RSI, which is the relative strength index, okay, and it gives you the relative strength of a token at its given price, went down, okay? So at that same point where we went up to up, We've now made a high and a lower high. This is bearish divergence, okay? This indicates we may see some bearish activity, right? But it's on the 1 hour chart. So I want you to notice that we've had 3 or 4 hours already of bearishness, right? We had a drop. So in my opinion, this is something that would have already been validated and played out, right? Now, we may come back up and retest this trend line and head back lower. Okay, so that's the main thing that you want to watch is you want to see, is this going to be a valid bearish divergence trend line, something that we are unable to break above and break past? If so, then that indicates that, the relative strength is continuing to drop, and that might result in the price of the token continuing to drop, okay? So there's two things. Now, if you're a little bit skeptical about this, I'm going to show you two forms of bullish divergence that caused or gave an indication of a potential, uprising in this coin. Okay. The first one is going to be this low here and then this lower low here. So clearly, you don't have to be an expert to see that we're making lower lows, that's in a downtrend. If we look here at this moment here, we have a low and a higher low. Okay. So what we're doing is creating a divergence between the RSI and the token price. Okay. And that's an indicator that we may see some bullish activity in the future. And sure enough, we didn't come back down and try to retest this trend line. We've been popping up hard. Okay. And it was a very big move that you could have caught if you were able to spot this bullish divergence. Okay. So that's the main reason, right? Then we can look at this one right here with this point and this point. Okay. We come up on the chart and what do we see? This is a high right here. All right. And what do? We come lower. All right. So we have a high and then we have a lower high. Well, look at our relative strength index. Okay. We have a high right here and it's basically flat. Okay. It is slightly up. So, instead of making lower highs, the relative strength is remaining flat / slightly higher. Okay. So that's an indicator also again of some bullish divergence. Okay. And you can see at this moment, we do get a drop. Okay. That's from here to here. So let's say you spotted this first because this happened first. You catch that move up and you see that, oh, hey, well, there's more bullish divergence, right? Well, what happens? We drop down. Okay. After that nice big rally, there's always going to be a pullback. It's never going to go straight in one direction. Right. And we got our second bullish divergence. So we entered here, let's say, okay, off of the initial bullish divergence. We caught that rally, took some profits, or maybe we're still holding our position because we're now reevaluating the trade and we're seeing that there's still some more bullish divergence where we're making lower highs, but we're actually, remaining with the same highs on the RSI. Okay. We get that pullback and then we get a very nice move up. Okay. So that was two indicators right here and right here of potential bullishness in the future. And it ended up playing out. Okay. They're never going to 100% play out. So you have to keep that in mind with position size and risk management. Okay. But there's two bullish divergences that played out. So we know that the chart is respecting not only chart patterns, but it seems to be respecting divergence. So we have a chart pattern here that's bearish that leads to a possible drop to the bottom. We also have bearish divergence indicating that there could be a possible drop to the bottom. So now is the time when you would want to protect your trade, right? If you're in some profits, maybe set a stop loss, okay? You can set a stop loss at this price level here, this price level here, any one of these price levels. You can set a stop loss somewhere in there, okay? Because you want to be prepared and save yourself in case the bearish play happens, right? So me personally, the way I would look at this, right, is I want to have a stop loss below these trend lines, okay? Because I don't want to get stopped out of the play while it's still in bullish, okay? There's nothing not bullish about it. It's going up. It's going up. It can continue to zigzags up and potentially come up to the trend line, right? We went over the daily trend line up here. Okay, that daily trend line is going to be, where we can expect some major resistance, right? Now our fib price levels right here is a nice price, resistance level. All right, we got some nice support levels on here, okay, being validated. So yeah, that's mainly it, okay? This thing potentially can keep going up until we hit this, and it's just going to stay in this pattern, okay? And stay in this ascending wedge pattern. But be cautious, okay? We may pull back and come back down before we hit this level up here, right? If we're not able to break these highs, okay, and we come down, break these lows right here, break this trend line, then we're going to drop all the way down. Okay. So that's what I'm expecting. So have some protection on whatever your type of protection is and ride the momentum on this wave. Okay. Ride this, we're still bullish. Okay. Ride that bullish momentum, but already now that there's a bearish pattern forming, there's bearish divergence. So you're not going to be surprised by any pullbacks, right? You're expecting things to stay bullish, but you're fully prepared now for the bearish chart pattern and the bearish divergence. And you're not going to be sweating it. You're not going to be worried. You're actually going to, feel good that, oh, hey, well, this actually played out. So now I can start looking at these more. Now I can start making more trades based off of these and really start to practice and own your technical analysis. Okay. So appreciate you watching the video. Actually, it's not over. Keep watching. Okay. We're going to go into the price levels now. All right. Because specifically that's what we had in this viewer request, some next take profit levels. Okay. So the take profit levels that I'm looking at right now currently, all right, is right here. Okay. That 0.03, that's been a valid take profit level, valid resistance level. Okay. So until we get back above 0.03, we're going to consolidate. Okay. And we may consolidate in between these two areas again before ultimately getting the breakdown or the break up. Okay. We have to keep in mind this trend line. This is why I put this trend line on here, because really, even above 0.03, I don't really have another take profit zone because of this trend line. All right. Once we get past this trend line, we got to take profit up here of 0.031. We got to take profit up here of 0.031. Let me get into the decimals on these. Okay. 0.031309 is your first target. Okay. 0.013992 is your second target, and 0.032974 would be your third target. Okay. That's if we remain fully bullish. Okay. And we're able to keep this momentum. Again, we do have the bullish divergence or bearish divergence to be cautious of. We are near 70, which is the overbought signal on the RSI. If you notice, we have never lasted long above over 70 on the RSI. It has always come back down. So that's something to be cautious of. Okay. Is that if we do get a rally, let's say on Monday or something like that, Monday or Tuesday, you need to be cautious. If we're up here in the overbought area, I wouldn't look for an entry. Okay. You want to buy things not when they're overbought, but more when they're oversold. And it's even better when something is oversold, forming bullish divergence. Okay. So that's the end of the video right there. Don't forget, I do the viewer requests every week. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man. You got to help the channel out, help me grow so I can help others, do some real technical analysis, give them some real good advice. I don't like to just make a video and I'm just the person in the video just screaming and shouting, and I don't have any charts up. I don't have any data up. I just have opinions. I like to be very data filled, data centric, and data focused. Okay. You can call me Jerome Powell because I am data dependent, baby.